The game is Simon Says.
You know how it goes.
When Simon says do an action, you do an action. But you're only supposed to do an action if Simon says. Ready? Simon says, raise your right hand. Simon says, put your right hand down. Simon says, raise your left hand. Put your left hand down.
Oh, Simon didn't say. Y'all look good. Okay, Simon says, put your left hand down now. Cross your arms.
No. Simon didn't say cross your arms. You need to make sure you're listening.
Okay, Simon says, smile. Show us your teeth. You're only as valuable as you are able. Simon says, raise your right hand again. Wave.
Why are you waving? You don't know how to listen? You must not be a good listener at home. Simon says it's not time for a bathroom break. You go when Simon says. Eat when Simon says.
Leave this room when Simon says.
There's only one rule. Only do what Simon says.
Simon says only speak when you are told to speak.
Simon says, speak to your neighbor now.
Why isn't everyone speaking now? You chose to play this game, now you're choosing not to play? How dare you ruin it for everyone else?
Simon says it's still not time for a bathroom break and stop asking.
Simon says you're not listening.
People that don't listen will never be successful. You know what? They don't even care.
They don't.
Just take out a book and shut up. Read. Simon says read.
Simon says it's time to file in the hallways now, one behind the other.
Straight silent line, tight to the right. Simon says if you can't be silent, how will you hear what Simon is telling you to do?
Silence.
I said be silent. Simon said be silent.
Simon said only 20 minutes to eat your lunch and be silent.
Eat faster. Eat faster.
Simon says sit up straight and be still.
Simon says tuck in your uniform. You don't want to tuck in your uniform? Go sit in the corner.
Simon says if you can't handle this classroom, how will you handle your jail cell?
Simon says, you will refer to it as Officer Simon from here on.
And Officer Simon says, know your place. Officer Simon says, show your teeth, boy. You're only as valuable as you are able. Officer Simon says, put your hand down. We don't raise hands here. There are no questions here.
Officer Simon says, you must not be a good listener at home.
At this rate, you'll not be going back home.
Officer Simon says, you will speak only when you are told to speak. Officer Simon says, speak to your cellmate now.
Why aren't you speaking now? You chose to play this game, now you're choosing not to play. How dare you ruin it for everyone else? Officer Simon says it's still not time for a bathroom break and stop asking. Officer Simon says you're not listening.
People that don't listen will never be successful.
Officer Simon said it's time to file in the hallways again, one behind the other.
Straight silent line, tight to the right. Officer Simon says if you can't be silent, how will you hear what Officer Simon is telling you to do?
Silence.
I said be silent. Officer Simon said be silent. Fix your uniform. Fix your face when you're talking to me. Clean your bunk, you fucking animal. Sit up straight.
I don't care if I didn't say Officer Simon said. Officer Simon said it. So sit up straight
and be still. Be still. Be still. Officer Simon says if you can't handle your jail cell, how will you handle your casket?
Here in America, in every single state, they have a set of standards for every subject, a collection of lessons that the teacher is required to teach by the end of the term.
But the greatest lessons you will ever teach us will not come from your syllabus.
The greatest lessons you will ever teach us, you will not even remember. You never told us what we weren't allowed to say. We just learned how to hold our tongues. Now somewhere in America there is a child holding a copy of Catcher in the Rye, and there is a child holding a gun.
But only one of these things have been banned by their state government. And it's not the one that can rip through flesh.
It's the one that says fuck you on more pages than one. Because we must control what the people say, how they think.
And if they want to become the overseer of their own selves,
then we'll show them a real one. And somewhere in America there's a child sitting at his mother's computer reading the homepage of the KKK's website. And that's open to the public. But that child will have never read To Kill a Mockingbird because his school has banned it for its use of the N-word.
Maya Angelou is prohibited because we're not allowed to talk about rape in school.
We were taught that just because something happens doesn't mean you are to talk about it.
They build us brand new shopping malls
so that we'll forget where we're really standing. On the bones of the Hispanics, on the bones of the slaves, on the bones of the Native Americans, on the bones of those who fought just to speak.
Transcontinental Railroad to Japanese internment camps.
There are things missing from our history books. But we were taught that it is better to be silent than to make them uncomfortable. Somewhere in America,
private school girls search for hours through boutiques trying to find the prom dress of their dreams.
While kids on the South Side spend hours searching through the lost and found. Because winter's coming soon and that's the only jacket they have.
Kids are late to class for working the midnight shift.
They give awards for best attendance, but not for keeping your family literally off the streets. These kids will call your music ghetto. They will tell you you don't talk right.
Then they'll get in the backseat of a car with all their friends,
Sing about how they're about that life and we can't stop. Somewhere in America,
schools are promoting self-confidence
while they whip out their scales and shout out your body fat percentage in class.
Where the heftier girls are hiding away, and the slim-fit beauties can't help but giggle with pride.
The preppy kids go thrift shopping because they think it sounds real fun.
But we go because that's all we've got money for. Because mama works for the city. Mama only gets paid once a month. Somewhere in America.
A girl's getting felt up by a grown man on the subway.
She's still in her school uniform, and that's part of the appeal. It's hard to run in knee socks and Mary Janes, and all her male teachers know it too.
Coaches cover up star players raping freshmen after the dance.
Women are killed for rejecting dates.
But God forbid I bring my girlfriend to prom.
A girl is blackout drunk at the after party.
Take a picture before her wounds wake her.
How many pixels is your sanity worth?
What's a 4.0 to a cold jury?
What'd you learn in class today?
Don't walk fast.
Don't speak loud.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your head down.
Keep your eyes on your own paper. If you don't know the answer,
Fill in C. Always wear earbuds when you ride the bus alone. If you feel like someone's following you,
Pretend you're on the phone.
A teacher never fails.
Only you do. Every state in America.
The greatest lessons are the ones you don't remember learning.
Us living as we do upside down, and the new word to have is revolution. People don't even want to hear the preacher spill or speak.
Explaining my depression to my mother, a conversation. Mom, my depression is a shapeshifter. One day it is as small as a firefly in the palm of a bear. The next, it's the bear. On those days, I play dead until the bear leaves me alone. I call the bad days the dark days. Mom says try lighting candles. When I see a candle, I see the flesh of a church. The flicker of a flame, sparks of a memory younger than noon. I am standing beside her open casket. It is the moment I learn every person I ever come to know will someday die. Besides, Mom, I'm not afraid of the dark. Perhaps that's part of the problem. Mom says I thought the problem was that you can't get out of bed. I can't. Anxiety holds me a hostage inside of my house, inside of my head. Mom says, where did anxiety come from? Anxiety is the cousin visiting from out of town. Depression felt obligated to bring to the party. Mom, I am the party. Only I am a party I don't want to be at. Mom says, why don't you try going to actual parties? See your friends. Sure, I make plans, but I don't want to go. I make plans because I know I should want to go. I know sometimes I would have wanted to go. It's just not that much fun having fun when you don't want to have fun, Mom. You see, Mom, each night, insomnia sweeps me up in his arms, dips me in the kitchen in the small glow of the stove light. Insomnia has this romantic way of making the moon feel like perfect company. Mom says, try counting sheep. But my mind can only count reasons to stay awake, so I go for walks. But my stuttering kneecaps clank like silver spoons held in strong arms with loose wrists. They ring in my ears like clumsy church bells, reminding me I am sleepwalking on an ocean of happiness I cannot baptize myself in. Mom says happy is a decision, but my happy is as hollow as a pinpricked egg. My happy is a high fever that will break. Mom says I am so good at making something out of nothing, and then flat out asks me if I am afraid of dying. No, I am afraid of living. Mom, I am lonely. I think I learned how when Dad left, how to turn the anger into lonely, the lonely into busy. So when I tell you I've been super busy lately, I mean I've been falling asleep watching SportsCenter on the couch to avoid confronting the empty side of my bed. But my depression always drags me back to my bed until my bones are the forgotten fossils of a skeleton sunken city. My mouth a boneyard of teeth broken from biting down on themselves. The hollow auditorium of my chest swoons with echoes of a heartbeat, but I am a careless tourist here. I will never truly know everywhere I have